find your way to higher ground. May you always keep your head held.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Managing both office as well as home is not an easy task. So, to make my things easier for a coming week, I always prefer to do some groundwork on a weekend. I start with making a meal plan for the coming week. I involve my son in making a meal plan so that I can also add some of his meal ideas that he would like to have during his school days. Making a meal plan helped me in many ways. Firstly, there is no repetition of meal. Secondly, my son is looking forward for that meal on a specific day. Thirdly, there is no wastage of food. Everything goes in a systematic order, and along with the office work, it does not give me that much of pain to look forward that what need to be prepared for the coming day. So this week it was quite different. Along with making a meal plan, I also had to make a list of grocery as it was a month beginning and I need to fill up some grocery which were not available with me now. So along with having a look at the grocery or a pantry cupboard, I also have a look at a meal plan if in case anything that need to be prepared and that is not readily available at home, I make sure I'm adding it. Every weekend, I make sure that I get some vegetables from the local market, wash it, and keep them in the fridge. With the help of a meal plan, I get only those vegetables on the priority that we have decided that we would be making in the coming week. Along with that, the other necessary vegetables that are required on day-to-day basis, of course, they are definitely added to the vegetable list. I start the preparation of vegetable, washing them and keeping them for drying on the Sunday morning itself. And along with that, I start doing some of the basic things preparation that I will be requiring in the coming week. Rather than making a last moment chaos in the kitchen and making a meal on a weekday, I prefer to do some groundwork which help me a lot. I always prefer to keep some boiled potatoes in my fridge always. I try and chop some vegetables at least for 2 to 3 days. That will help me to start my week on a good note. I always prefer to keep some sprouts ready on a weekend that help me to have a good and healthy breakfast on a weekdays. Once I have received the grocery that I have placed the order last night, I start arranging them the next day. Placing all the grocery in the systematic order has always helped me to look for the items that I need at the last moment. I have segregated the basket into different sections. One basket is only for the pulses, one basket that contain only the breakfast item, one basket contain all the spices. Along with that, I also refill all the containers that require the immediate attention, whether it is filling up a vermicelli or any other small spices that need to be filled back in the container. Once they are filled back in the container, I get good amount of space in my pantry store which help me to look forward for the item if in case it is not there in my containers. I always prefer to keep things back at their original place rather than looking at those items at the last moment and creating a chaos. While placing the order on monthly basis, I always make sure that I take out all the baskets, look for the item in case I am not placing an order for a duplicate one, and then I place the order. Firstly, it helped me to maintain my pantry neat and clean. Secondly, there is no repetitions of order. I always prefer to prepare some makhanas on a weekend for him and for myself so that we can take it in the office and he can take it in his tiffin. Refilling of my spice box on every week is something very important. Rather than filling up the spice box or looking for a particular spice on a weekdays, especially on a rush hours, always create a chaos and always make a mess at that particular thing. So I always make sure that on weekend I'm refilling all my spice boxes and make sure if anything is missing, I am placing the order for that for the coming week. Before going to bed, I follow some basic night routine that help me to start my next Monday morning in a calm and a pleasing way rather than starting my Monday as a Monday blue. I first clean all the utensils that are there. I make sure that I am not leaving any dirty utensil in my kitchen sink. Once I have done with the cleaning of the utensil, I also clean up my kitchen sink properly, as this is the place that have lot of dirt the entire day and this need to be cleared properly. Once I have cleaned the kitchen sink and the nearby area of my kitchen, I then quickly swipe up my countertop with a good spray and clean it properly. In summers, we like to have water from the earthen pot. Rather than keeping the water in the refrigerator, we prefer to go with this one. So I make sure that I clean the earthen pot every day, or if not, then on alternate days. And before going off to bed, I make sure that I fill it with the water. I clean up the countertop properly in order to avoid any kind of insects or pest in my kitchen, as summers are the days when there are high chances of catching lot of pests in the kitchen. Before going to bed, I fill a small container with water and add some almonds as well as some walnut, and in one container I add some fenugreek seeds with water, and in a glass I add a jeera water. I soak them overnight and we all consume all these three things the next day early morning on empty stomach. It is not always about cleaning up the kitchen to have a good start on the next day. It is also about keeping the things back in each and every room so that you have a good start with a calm and a pleasing morning. I always arrange my son's room one night before, as the next day morning are very busy and there are times when I don't get time to clean up his room properly during the weekdays. So the Sunday night is something that once he have arranged his school timetable and done his homework, I arrange his books back in his rack and clean up the room and make sure that it is properly intact. Mornings are so busy on weekdays that we are always in a hurry. My son is going to school, we are going to office, so I hardly get time to do the cleaning of each and every room. So I make sure that on Sunday I have done the cleaning and kept the things back at the designated place, so that even if I am unable to do it on a weekday after coming back from office, the things are at their proper place and they are not kept here and there. Living room is an area where we spend most of our time, whether it's on a weekday or on a weekend. So I make sure that before going to bed, I always clean up my living room. Once we are done with the dinner and other work, I always clean up my dining table and properly swipe it before going off to bed. I always make sure that I switch off all the kitchen appliances, whether it is switching off of gas stove or any electrical switches, before I go off to bed. This is something that I never missed on. We have a small dim light in a foyer area, so before going to bed, we always keep this light on. The last thing that I don't miss on is taking care of myself. So before going off to bed, I make sure that I wash my face properly. Recently, I was started getting some acne on my lower cheeks as well as on my face. so I had to consult the dermatologist. Even after taking up proper care, I was getting those acne that were very painful. So once I have consulted the dermatologist and understood the mistakes that I was making, I have started taking self care. After doing a proper cleaning of my face with a face wash, I always moisturize my face before going off to bed. That's all from my side. I hope you all enjoyed watching this video and you got an idea how, along with my office work, I maintain my house and take care of necessary things. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, and do share it with your friends and families. Till then, take care.